Isang masayang pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pagre-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Klase sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayon din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9:00 ng umaga hanggang 7:00 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Hello. Good day, mathletes from all over the Philippines. Kumusta po kayong lahat? Hello, Tutor Joy. Kumusta po?
Good afternoon po, Tutor Rowell, and sa lahat po ng ating ETUlay mathletes, coaches, nanonood.
Yes, again, welcome to our Matalino Day, Friday. So welcome po sa ating DepEd ETUlay online tutorial kung saan ay ating itutuloy ang pagkatuto ng bawat batang Pilipino sa sitnayan. So once again, I'm Tutor Roel from SDO Camarines Sur, your math coach in Math Tech. With me is
Yes. And this is Tutor Joy Villarreal from Caloocan National Science and Technology High School, SDO Caloocan City. Bumabati sa inyo na welcome back sa ating tuloy-tuloy na pagkatuto kasi may ilang araw din po tayong naging break para sa ating election-related activities. Diba, Tutor Rowell?
yes po. At this time, alam kong excited na rin ang ating mga mathlete to learn new topic this time. Di ba po? By the way, Tutor Joy, gusto ko lang batiin ang ating mga mathlete na unang nag-comment. So we have from Quirino National High School, hello sa iyo, Precious Lara, Mikaela, Hexel Josh, and Philip. Also, batiin rin po natin ang ating mathlete na si Enrico Dalupan. Hello sa iyo, Enrico. Meron din
Ayan,
po
so
tayo.
shout out ko rin po, Tutor Rowell, yung mga nagko-comment po sa ating YouTube channel and Facebook page. Nandyan po sila Ina Isabela, Kiana Templo Nuevo, Harchi Ramos Dansalan, Kate Ashley, at Jillian Ibanez Manuel. Marami pa pong iba. Hello po.
Yes. Actually, nilista ko sila habang naghihintay po tayo ng live. We also have Christine, Austrian C, Faith, Angelica Gerald. Same with Jillian, Kate, Jeneline, Kate, Ashley, Vince, Harchi, Angelo, and Kiana from Antipolo National High School. Okay. So this time, Tutor Joy, new lesson will be unlocked. Pero bago yon, kailangan po muna nating i-feature ang mga mathletes, math coaches, and math husay school na nag-participate actively last week. Pero bago yan, syempre, alam naman natin, Coach Joy, na kasama natin lagi si Tutor Aghil sa Math 10 Family. Okay.
Tama po yan. Ayan. Hello, Tutor Aghil from SDO Bataan. Yan. So, present ko, sir, ang ating mga ETUlay mathletes for the week. Yan. Sige, sir. Simulan po natin. Ang ating unang ETUlay mathlete ay si Percival Velasco Jr. mula sa San Mariano National High School, SDO Isabela. Congratulations sa iyo, Percival. At nandyan din, Tutor Rowell.
We also have Mathlete of the Week, Hannah Marjorie L. Agonoy from San Mariano National High School, SDO Isabela.
Nandyan din si Jill Grace F. Tawagon mula naman po sa Ocampo National High School, SDO Camarines Sur. Congratulations!
Yes, congrats din po kay Adam Ross Valencia from San Mariano National High School, SDO Isabela.
At ganun din kay Angel Lou V. Bitamog mula sa San Mariano National High School, SDO Isabela.
And Catherine K.B. Obina from Ocampo National High School, SDO Camsur.
Ayan. At nandyan din po, Tutor Ruel, si Rainiel M. De Vera mula naman po sa Macabebe High School, SDO Pampanga. So ito yung mga active na mga mathletes natin na sumagot sa ating challenge live. At syempre, di rin po papahuli, Tutor Ruel, si
Rhea Nina Angela B. Tercero, one of the mathletes of the week from Culiac High School, SDO Quezon City. Yes. Aside
and
po sa
last
kanila.
but not the least,
Yes.
meron po si nandyan din si Pia Bon Gazmin mula naman po sa San Mariano National High School, SDO Isabela. At syempre, Tutor Ruel, papakilala natin ang nag-iisang math coach of quarter 4 week 2 natin. Siya ay si... Sige, Sir Ruel.
Yes, congratulations, math coach Sir Junward Reshon from Quirino National High School, SDO Isabela. Congratulations, Sir Junward. Thank you po for letting your students, mathletes, to participate po sa ating DepEd ETUlay.
Yan,
and also,
congrats and thank you po, sir. And syempre, sir, kung meron tayong math leads, meron tayong math coach of the week, meron din tayong math husay school para sa ating quarter 4 week 2. Yan ay ang Quirino National High School mula po sa SDO Isabela. Pagbati po sa ating Math Husay School of the Week.
Yes, thank you so much po. Actually, Tutor Joy, marami pang mathletes yung nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Kaya lang hindi muna natin sila finiture, pinagbigyan natin yung mga bagong mathletes natin this time. Okay? So again, congratulations po sa lahat ng mathletes,
Tama.
math coach, and Math Husay School. Okay.
Yes po, Tutor Ruel. And this week, sa ating quarter for week 3, ang focus natin ay ang measures of position, but this time we will be talking about group data. Kasi nung mga nakaraan, ungroup ang ating focus. At syempre, ang reference pa rin na ginagamit natin, Tutor Ruel, ay ang module 34 mula po sa DepEd Cordillera Administrative Region. So shout out po sa lahat ng bumubuo ng DepEd Cordillera Administrative Region, especially to the author of the modules that we are using. Shout out po sa ating author na si Ma'am Shirna T. Mabil. Ayan, salamat po. And for today's objectives, Tutor Rowell, ano po ba yung mga kailangan nating, gusto nating i-attain today para sa ating session?
For today's session or this week, we have 2 targets. Ano yun? We have first is to determine the range, number of classes, class width, lower class boundaries, and cumulative frequency of a data set. And the last one is to construct a frequency distribution table or FDT using the given and group data set. So kung mapapansin nyo, parang mahirap yung objective or target natin this week. Pero don't worry, nandito po kami ni Tutor Joy to assist you in attaining these 2 objectives.
Tama ka dyan, Tutor Ruel, kasi parang baka ma-overwhelm sila sa sobrang daming bagong terms, statistical terms na nakikita ngayon. So hopefully, this session, sabay-sabay tayong matututo at ilabas na po ninyo ang inyong ballpen at ang inyong papel para tayo ay sabay-sabay na matuto sa ating pag-aaralan ngayong araw. So for today's session, kung kayo ay ready na, paki-press naman ang number 1 sa ating comment section. Yan. Naniniwala ako, Tutor Ruel, na laging ready ang ating mga mathletes kasi lagi silang matibay. Yan. So let's get started. Thank you for sending or pressing 1 in our comment section. Simulan na natin. So for today, yan, tingnan natin itong situation na ibibigay natin. So, do you have a Facebook account? So, obviously, marami sa atin ang merong Facebook account, especially those who are here in our Facebook page, no? Nakatutok ng live dito sa ating ETUlay Facebook page. So, have you ever wondered how many will respond to your cover photo after uploading it? So, bukod sa profile photo, tayo ay nag-upload din ng ating mga cover photos sa ating Facebook account. So, naisip nyo ba minsan, how many will respond to that cover photo just right after uploading it? So, ito, meron dito isang situation wherein a group of students is curious on how many will react to their cover photos after uploading. So what they did is they changed their Facebook cover photos simultaneously. Ibig sabihin, sabay-sabay silang nag-change ng Facebook cover photo. After exactly 5 minutes, they recorded the number of reactions listed below. Number of reactions, and listed below are the number of reactions each student received. So tingnan nyo po, meron tayo ditong data na naka-table. May rows and columns po tayo. So you will see there how many data. So we have 30. So 30 values in this table. So we have here a task. Determine the following. Kung natatandaan pa ninyo, can you please type in our comment section, anong ibig sabihin ng Q1? Yan. So based on the number of reactions received by each student, may task kasi tayo based on this situational problem to determine the following. Sabi Q1. So what do we mean by Q1? Yan ay ang ating correct. We have quartile 1 according to Gerald Cultivo. What about D sub 6? Yung Q sub 1 is our quartile 1 or first quartile based on our previous session, but what about D sub 6? Yan, tama. We have 6 decile. And lastly, P sub 30 corresponds to what? possession. Kung naaalala pa natin yung ating previous discussions, 2 weeks natin diniscuss ang measures of possession that focuses on ungroup data. Correct, we have the 30th percentile. But for this week, ito kasing given nating example, ito ay halimbawa ng ungroup data. But for this session, for today's session, we will be focusing on the group data. Tama po ba, Tutor Ruel?
Yes, tama po yung Tutor Joy. This time, group data naman. From that ungroup data, how are we going to come up with a group data? So, ibig sabihin, ilalagay natin siya sa isang table. Pero bago yon, alam ko kapag si Tutor Joy nagpalit ng kanyang cover photo or profile pic, sigurado ako mag-trending yan, di ba? Hundreds or thousands of reactions. Tama ba? Kahit in just an hour or maybe a minute after. Di ba? For this one, ang mga nakalagay naman na data, we have 29, 21, 26, 18, 22, 28. So yan yung record natin sa 30 students. After nila makapag-change ng cover photo in just 5 minutes. So as you can see, marami naman, di ba? So kayo, mathletes, sa tingin nyo, kapag nag-change kayo ng cover photo or profile pic, ilan yung reactions agad? Sige nga, ilan ang nagiging reactions?
Marami din yan. Sige nga po,
Mas
type
marami.
sa ating comment section.
Yes. Pero mas marami kay Tutor Joy. Di ba po?
Hindi.
Yes.
Ayan.
Ah,
So,
by the
baka
way,
mga 2
Tutor
digits
Joy.
lang, sir. Opo.
2 digits. Okay po. Idagdag ko na rin ha. So, mathletes, we have quartile, decile, and percentile. These are the measures of possession. Alam ko po, Tutor Joy, they are still familiar sa formula na ginagamit to find these possessions. So again, kapag decile, or let's say quartile, that is k over 4, kasi quartile, times n plus 1. For decile naman, yung 4 gagawin lang 10. So k over 10 times n plus 1. While for the percentile, it's k over 100 times n plus 1. Tama po ba, Tutor Joy?
Tama, Tutor Rowell. At maganda ring nababalikan natin kasi nga after 2 weeks of sessions about measures of possession, bigla tayo nagkaroon ng break muna for the to give way for our national and local elections. So magandang balikan din natin. So tingin ko, ready na sila para gumawa ng group data. So how do we transform this ungroup data set into group data set? Pero bago yan, Tutor Ruel, let's define first, ano ba pag sinabi nating frequency distribution table? Or ito yung kilala sa statistics na may acronym na FDT. So kung nahahabaan tayo sa frequency distribution table, we can just simply call it FDT. So simulan ko po ha. So pag sinabi nating frequency distribution table, this is simply a tabular presentation of quantitative data grouped into numerical intervals. Tapos itong numerical intervals na to, mathletes, ay tinatawag nating classes or class intervals. Together with the number of observations in each class called the frequency. So malinaw na kapag pinag-uusapan natin ng FDT, ito tayo ay gumagamit ng table para i-organize at i-present ang mga quantitative data na meron tayo. Katulad nung nandoon sa ating previous slide. Ngayon, ang numerical intervals na makikita natin later on ay tatawagin nating classes o kaya class intervals. So, paki-take note na yan, mathletes. At makikita din daw po natin sa FDT ang tinatawag nating frequency. Ang frequency naman ay yung bilang ng observation sa bawat class. Ano pa po kaya ang FDT, Tutor Rowell?
Yes. So pag sinabing FDT, it is a simple and effective method of organizing and presenting numerical data so that one can grasp an overall picture of the data set. So dito kasi, nagrupo na yung given raw scores or raw data. So from that data, from that table, we can easily come up with a conclusion or understanding kung ano ba yung naging resulta ng given data na yan. Saan ba may mas maraming score? Saan ba may mas konting score? So kung babalikan rin natin, Tutor Joy and mathletes, noong grade 7 po kayo, napag-usapan nyo na rin yung frequency distribution table, di ba? So for instance, nagkaroon kayo ng categorical data. So ibig sabihin, qualitative, may mga categories. Say for instance, brands, colors, fruits. Tapos mayroon pa silang tally, then frequency. So aside sa categorical data, we also have quantitative data na yan yung focus natin this time. More on numbers naman tayo na i-arrange sa given table. So tama po yan? Tama po ba yon, Tutor Joy?
Yes, Tutor Rowell. So, madaling makita kapag gumagamit tayo ng FDT, no? Kung katulad ng sinabi mo, ano dun sa mga class interval na yon, yung kunwari merong mataas na frequency o kaya yung pinakamababa. Because through FDT, it gives an overall picture of the given data set. Unlike the ungrouped data, medyo kalat-kalat kasi siya talaga. Makikita mo individually yung score. And to add to what Tutor Rowell said, or to what Tutor Rowell shared earlier, pag sinabi din po nating frequency distribution table dito sa ating session, we will be using 4 columns. So, referring also to the module that we are using. So, specifically, ito po yung mga parts ng FDT na ating pag-aaralan this session. We have what we call the class interval. Sa first column natin yan matatagpuan. Then, the frequency. Ito yung sabi natin kanina na makikita natin yung number of observations per class. And we will also have the LCB or the lower class boundary. Later on, we will elaborate more on this. And then lastly, the fourth column will be about the less than cumulative frequency. Ang symbol po niyan ay yung less than symbol with small letter C and small f. So notation natin for less than cumulative frequency will be less than CF. Ayan. And paano natin sisimulan ang pag-aaral natin about constructing an FDT or frequency distribution table? Tutor Rowell, of course, using an example.
Okay, eto na. So, mathletes, again, magko-construct po tayo ng frequency distribution table. Sabi ni Tutor Joy, may 4 columns. So, we have the class interval, the frequency, the lower class boundaries, and the less than cumulative frequency. So, eto na yon. We will start. Ready your pen, paper, and calculator. Kaya natin ito. So for the given example, eto na. The following data are the numbers of reactions received by the students on their Facebook cover photo. So make a group frequency distribution table. Ayan yung recorded number of reactions ng 30 students or 30 respondents natin. So, paano po gumawa ng frequency distribution table? Step by step po natin gagawin. Now, what is step number 1? For step number 1, that is, determine the range. Hahanapin natin si range. How to solve for range? So, to get range, it is simply the difference between the highest and the lowest values in the set of data. Ano yung pinakamataas na value? Ano naman yung pinaka-lowest na value? Tapos kukunin natin yung difference niya. So in short, range is equal to the highest value minus the lowest value. O mathletes, pwede nyo bang i-identify alin dyan yung highest and lowest value?
Okay. In our comment section.
Tutor Joy, alin daw po dyan yung highest value and ang lowest value? Tingnan nga natin.
Yan, so we have here, highest is 50 and lowest is 12, Tutor Rowell.
Okay.
Yan yung mga tama po ang sagot sa ating comment section.
Yung iba po, nilagay 14, 15, na overlook lang po nila na may 12 pa pala. Diba? So okay lang yan.
Ayan, oo nga, may sumagot na 14.
So again, the range is 50 minus 12, and that is equal to 38. Okay, our range is now equal to 38. Again, ang unang step, find or solve for range. Now, nakuha na natin si range, which is 38. Tutor Joy, ano po yung sunod na step?
Ayan, so we are constructing an FDT. First step is to determine the range. Let's proceed to the next step. So we are still using the same problem. So step 2 is all about deciding for the approximate number of classes in which the data are to be grouped. So magde-decide tayo. But how do we know kung ilan yung possible number of classes na meron tayo? So, based on our module, ideal number of classes will be from 5 to 20. So, kapag nagko-construct daw tayo ng FDT, posibleng meron tayong 5 hanggang 20 na class intervals or classes. But there is also a tip. We can also use the following formula in determining the number of classes. By the way, when we say number of classes, we will be using capital letter K to denote it. Ayan. So, kapag sinabi natin capital letter K, kapag nakakita tayo dito ng capital letter K, this refers to the approximate number of classes na ipoproduce natin mamaya for our frequency distribution table. So, our formula will be this. Please take note, mathletes. K will be equal to the square root of N. Pero ang tanong po, ano ang N? N will be the total number of observation. So, based on this given data set, ilan po ba ang total number of observations natin? Di ba, based sa records ng mga estudyante na nag-upload ng kanilang cover photo simultaneously. So, ilan ang mga students natin? There are 30. Therefore, N will be 30 in this example or in this problem. So, following or applying the formula for K, we get the square root of N or simply the square root of 30, and that will give us the result of approximately 5.48. But this is an approximation. Ang gagawin po natin is to round it off. So, round off natin ng 5.48. K will be 5. Mag-round off tayo dito kasi gagamitin natin yung value ng K para sa next step natin. So, once again, Tutor Ruel, range ay 38, K is 5. We can now proceed to the next step.
Yes po. Alam ko, Tutor Joy, nakuha po yan ni Jillian, ni Kyle, Christian James, Jasmine Arjane, Christian, Ina, Kimberly, Rayaninia, di ba? And Gerald. So, nakuha nila on how to do the first two steps. Step 1, range. Highest value minus lowest value. Step 2, using the formula to find the number of classes, we have K is equal to the square root of N. So, pwede kayong gumamit ng calculator. So, for this one, our solved value of K is equal to 5. From 4.85 naging 5 kasi tig-round off. Now, what is step number 3? Ito na siya. For step number 3, mathletes, solve for the class width, denoted by I. It will be done by dividing the range by the number of classes and round it to the nearest odd integer. Ulitin lang natin. Ang step number 3, i-divide lang po natin yung nakuha natin sa step 1 at sa step 2. So, ang magiging numerator natin will be the range. And that is 38. Yung 38, i-divide natin ng nakuha nating value ni K, which is 5. Okay? Now, mathletes, what is 38 over 5? Kasi I or class width is equal to range over K. And that is 38 divided by 5. So our quotient now is equal to what? 7
Ayan, Tutor Well, may sagot dito sa comment section. May sumagot na 7.5, may 7.6 according kay Rosemary. Yan. Let's find out.
Ano kaya? Yes. So the correct answer po is 7.6. Now, na-divide na po natin. Kaya lang, sa step number 3, nakalagay, round it to the nearest odd integer. Si 7 is an odd integer. I-round off natin siya, magiging siyang 8. Kaya lang, kanino mas malapit si 7? Siyempre, kay 7 compared kay 9. Diba? Kung yung 7.6 i-round off natin, magiging siyang 8, hindi naman siya odd number, diba? It is an even number. So si 7.6, mas malapit siya kay 7 compared kay 9. Kaya ang magiging I natin will be 7. Again, si 7.6, mas malapit kay 7 compared kay 9. Kaya ang value natin for I ay 7. Tama po ba yun, Tutor Joy?
Tama, Tutor Rowell. And we're doing this, the rounding of values to the nearest odd integer because we need to assure na yung class marks or midpoints natin ay integer instead of having it mixed numbers. So yun yung rule of thumb doon kung bakit natin nire-round off to the nearest odd integer. So medyo recap lang ako, Tutor Rowell, no? Nag-solve tayo sa step 1 ng range, highest minus lowest value. And then step 2, we get the approximate number of classes denoted by K by getting the square root of N. At sa step 3, ayan, tinuro na ni Tutor Rowell kung paano ba mag-solve ng class width denoted by small letter I. And that is by dividing the range value by the K value. At huwag kakalimutan sa step 3, ira-round off natin ito sa nearest odd integer. Now, let's proceed to step 4. Sa step 4 naman natin, mga mathletes, dito na natin sisimulang gawin yung frequency distribution table by completing the first column. Again, the first column contains the class intervals. Another term for class intervals, tandaan, classes. Yan, class intervals, classes, yan yung mga numbers na nasa first column natin. So here, observe the table presented in our PowerPoint. May 12 to 18 yung nasa pinaka-ilalim na row, yung bottom row. Since 12 is the lowest value, tatandaan natin sa group of dataset natin, 12 is the lowest value, then it will be the first lower limit. Ayan, kaya naging yung first interval, class interval natin dyan ay 12 to 18. Ngayon magtatanong tayo, bakit naging 18 yung kasunod na number niya? Why is it 12 to 18? Ulitin natin, 12 is the lowest value. That's why this will be the first lower limit. Now to get the first upper limit, nandyan ay 18. Ang gagawin lang po natin, dadagdagan natin ng I minus 1 yung first lower limit. So paano po yun, mathletes? Our first lower limit is 12. Tapos, ang value ng I natin ay 7. Babawasan lang daw natin ng 1 ang I value. So, 7 minus 1, that is 6. And then, add it to the lower limit, first lower limit. So, 12 plus 6, that becomes 18. Kaya po yung 18 ay ang value ng ating unang upper limit. At tatandaan lahat po ng values na nandyan sa ating left side, ayan yung naka-encircle ngayon ng red, ang tawag po dyan ay yung ating mga lower limits. Note natin. At syempre, kung may lower limits tayo, yung nandoon naman po sa right side ay ang ating mga upper limits. At please observe, mathletes, para makuha yung mga kasunod na class intervals mula dun sa 12 to 18, nag-a-add lang tayo ng tinatawag nating class width natin or class size, which is 7. So for example, from 12 to 18 na class interval, makikita nyo naging 19 to 25. Ang ginawa natin, 12 plus 7, 19. Para makuha yung kasunod na lower limit, 19 plus 7, 26. 26 plus 7, 33, 33 plus 7, 40, 40 plus 7, 47. At ganun din ang ginagawa natin sa upper limit. So 18 plus 7, 25, magiging 32, 39, 46, and 53. Ngayon, Tutor Rowell, kung titingnan natin yung step 4, nakakreate tayo ng 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 class intervals. Diba? 12 to 18, 19 to 25, 26 to 32, 33 to 39, 40 to 46, and 47 to 53. Yun yung 6 na class intervals. Pero kanina, Tutor Rowell, sa step 2, ang K natin ay 5. Paano po yun? Paano po yun nangyayari?
Okay, so sabi sa step 2, decide the approximate number of classes or class intervals. Nung sinob natin yung K, ang nakuha natin ay 5. Kaya lang, di ba gagawa na tayo ng table? We will fill out the first column. To fill it out, magsisimula kayo sa pinakamababang value. So since ang lowest value natin ay 12, magsisimula tayo kay number 12. 12 to what? Since ang class size natin or class width ay 7, ibig sabihin, may 7 numbers for every class interval. So we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Kaya ang nangyari, from 12 to 18, or ang sabi ni Tutor Joy, si I, bawasan mo lang ng 1, tapos i-add kay 12. So 12 plus 7 minus 1 is 6. So 12 plus 6 is 18. Now, ang ginawa naman natin na sunod, kinontinue yung process in identifying the next classes or class intervals. Sabi kay step 2, 5 yung number of classes. Kaya lang, kung hanggang 5 lang tayo, so we only have 40 to 46. Hanggang dyan lang yung pang-5 classes or class intervals. Kaya lang po, hindi din makakasama yung highest value natin, which is 50. Kaya nagdagdag pa tayo ng pang-6 na class or class interval. Sinama natin si 47 to 53 para makasama si 50 sa given table. Okay po? So okay lang lumampas po siya sa na-compute natin na K. Okay lang maging from 5 naging 6 as long as ma-cover natin yung every data from that given ungroup data. Okay po?
Tama, Tutor Rowell. Thank you po sa pagka-clarify. Kasi nga naman, no, Tutor Rowell, pag nag-stop tayo dun sa ika-5 class interval, which is 40 to 46, hindi natin masasama sa bilang yung highest value natin, which is 50 in this data set. Yan. So, step 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all clear. Proceed po tayo sa step 5. So, sa step 5, sa pagko-construct ng FET, dito naman, i-fill in na natin yung frequency ng bawat class interval. So, recalling lang po na yung frequency is referring to the number of observations within the class interval. So, paano ba natin ina-identify or dinedetermine yung frequency ng bawat class interval? Bibilangin lang natin manually. So, given the data set, yan. So, ito yung 30 values. Tapos, meron tayong class intervals mula dun sa 12 to 18 at ang pinaka-huli nating class interval ay yung 47 to 53. Bibilangin lang natin yung frequency bawat class. Sige po. Simulan natin, Tutor Rowell.
Okay, so pag gagawa po kayo ng frequency distribution table tapos i-complete nyo na yung second column which is under frequency, mas maganda na isulat, dapat nakasulat po yung given raw scores, yung ungrouped data. Tapos, you will identify now, aalamin nyo na, hahanapin nyo na yung numbers 12 to 18. Alin kaya dyan sa raw data na yan, ang number 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. Bibilangin silang lahat, tapos ilalagay na sa frequency. Kung 7 sila, 7 yung ilalagay nyo sa frequency. But, make sure na ima-mark nyo yung given numbers na yon. Pwede nyong bilugan, pwede nyong i-cross out or i-slash para hindi na kayo malito sa pag-identify ng given number na ilalagay nyo sa frequency. Okay po? Mamarkaan nyo lang kapag tapos nyo na siyang mabilang. So sa 12 to 18, ilan po kaya yung dyan sa given data? So bilangin nga natin. Sa tingin nyo, athletes, ilan yung frequency ng class na 12 to 18? Sige nga, athletes, pwede nyo bang bilangin? Ilan yan? So,
Yan, pwede ko kayong tulungan sa pag-encircle dito sa ating dataset at isend sa ating comment section.
Sabi po ni Monique, 4. Tama ba kaya ang 4?
Yes, na 4. 12 to 18. Ayan, pasok dyan ang 12. Oh, yan. May pasok din po ang 15. Tama po ba, Tutor Rowell?
Yes po.
Ayan. Ganon din ang sagot ni Rosemary, ni Christian, at ni Sir June Ward. Ayan, 6 ang kanilang sagot. So, let's reveal, Tutor Rowell.
Okay. Sige na nga po. Patingin nga po kami, Tutor Joy. For the frequency, we have 6. For 19 to 25, ilan naman po yan? Ilan po? Sige nga po. 19 to 25. Ilan po yan, Tutor Joy?
Yan, sa 19 to 25, makikita natin yung values na 20 to 24, 21, 22, 21, 22. So meron din po, Tutor Ruel, na 6 na pasok na values doon sa 19 to 25 na class interval. Therefore, the frequency of that class interval is 6.
Okay po. Sige po, continue po natin, Tutor Joy. Assume na, alam ko, nakuha na yan ng mga mathlete natin, how to identify the frequency for every class or class interval. Ayan na.
So, there you go, Tutor Ruel. Complete.
Okay, so ibig sabihin, for 47 to 53, we have 2, 40 to 46, 2, 5, 9, 6, and 6. That is for step number 5. Ano po yung sunod, Tutor Joy?
Ayan, for step 5, kung tapos na tayo mag-fill in ng frequency sa bawat class interval, another way din po na i-emphasize sa step 5 ay kapag tinotal dapat natin yung frequency, dapat magiging equal po siya sa value ng n, yung total number of observation natin. So 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 9 plus 6 plus 6 must be equal to 30. So tama naman po tayo, 30. Kaya susundan na natin ng step 6, which is to complete the lower class boundary of each class interval. So mathletes, pag sinabi nating lower class boundary, this can be found by simply subtracting 0.5 units from the lower limit. So kung ang first lower limit natin dito, for example, ay 12, galing po yun sa class interval na 12 to 18, bawasan lang ng 0.5 ang 12, and that gives us 11.5. Followed by 19 minus 0.5, that's 18.5, and we will just simply repeat the procedure. So this will be the FDT containing the class interval, frequency, and then the lower class boundary of the given data set. So ibig sabihin, ang lower class boundary ng class interval na 47 to 53 ay 46.5, nanggaling yun sa pagsusubtract ng 0.5 sa ating lower limit, which is 47. Yan, kompleto na yung 3 columns, Tutor Ruel. We can proceed to step 7. Ang last.
Yes, ang dali lang po. Ang dali lang po, Tutor Joy, di ba? Ito na yung last step. Step number 7. Fill in the column for less than cumulative frequency. So baka nagtatanong yung mathletes, para saan naman po yung LCB at yung less than cumulative frequency? So mathletes, reminder po, next week, gagamitin po natin yung mga values na yan in finding for the measures of position ng quartile, decile, and percentile for a given group data. This week, ang focus po muna kasi natin ay ang pag-construct ng FDT. So aalamin natin para saan naman yan. Kasi may given formula, isa-substitute lang po natin yung values na yan sa formula na ipipresent po namin next week. Okay? So again, for the fourth column, nakalagay, less than cumulative frequency. Paano naman mag-fill out po dyan? So pag mag-fill out po kayo sa fourth column, magsisimula kayo sa lower right part ng given table. Ibig sabihin, doon sa 6. Hanapin niyo po si 6. Diyan kayo magsisimula. Saan galing si 6? Tingnan niyo po yung second column, yung frequency. Under frequency, ang pinakababa niya, number 6. So gagayahin niyo lang para sa fourth column. Kinopya lang natin si 6. Sunod, paano nakuha si 12? Balik kayo kay frequency. Yung sa taas ni 6, 6 ulit. So 6 plus 6, 12. Yung 12, paano naging 21? Sa taas ni 6 is 9. So 12 plus 9, 21. So repeating the process. Again, copy 6 plus 6, 12, plus 9, 21, plus 5, 26, plus 2, 28, plus 2, 30. Siguraduhin lang po ng pinakataas dyan ay 30, that is the total number of observations. Ibig sabihin, tama yung pag-solve natin ng less than cumulative frequency. Okay, na-complete na yung table.
Yan, na-complete na natin yung table. Meron na tayong 4 na columns na, Tutor Ruel. We have class interval, frequency, lower class boundary, and less than cumulative frequency. Very helpful po ito pag nag-solve na tayo ng measures of position that involves group data. Kasi alam na alam nyo nang mag-construct ng FDT at meron na kayong ready na values na ilalagay na lang natin sa formula or equation natin next week. Ayan.
Yes.
So, Tutor Ruel, practice tayo. Kung talagang naintindihan na nila ang pag-construct ng FDT, let's practice through this example. Ayan po. So for our first example, 20 people were nominated to do the push-up challenge. To do this, they must record the number of push-ups they can do every day for 25 days. Below is the list of the number of push-ups they were able to do on the first day. So first day pa lang ito. Ito na ang records na nagawa. Kung titingnan natin ang dataset, Tutor Ruel, mukhang may isa sa mga nag-push up, yung kumasa sa push-up challenge, na walang nagawang push-up. Ayan o, 0.
Grabe naman yun.
Sobrang hirap ng push-up, wala po siyang nagawang push-up.
Okay. So just a reminder, mas maganda kung, di ba, lahat tayo makapag-exercise din. Di ba? Hindi pwedeng puro kain lang tayo, kain, tulog, TV, angat. Dapat may exercise and may physical activity din tayo. So yon. So ano nang gagawin po natin, Tutor Joy?
Ayan, since we already have the given data set, naka-ungroup pa siya, let's, since our task is to construct an FDT, we always start with the first step, which is to determine the range. So syempre, identify natin ang highest and lowest value. And given this, we have 30 minus 0. So, ang highest value dito sa dataset ay 30 at ang lowest naman ay 0. Therefore, range is equal to 30. Yan.
Yes, tama po si Philip Ray. Get the range po. Tama naman si Jasmine. Ang sagot ni Jasmine, Philip, and Ina, 30. Wow, nakuha na natin yung step 1. What now is step 2? Okay,
Yan. For step 2, Tutor Ruel,
yes, we will now decide the approximate number of classes. So gagamitin natin yung formula na k is equal to square root of n. Gamit yung calculator, Tutor Joy. The square root of 20 is equal to, sige nga po, please reveal po, Tutor Joy. Our n is 20.
Section.
Yes. Okay,
Ayan,
marami
may
pa
mga nagsasolve,
sumasagot
Tutor.
ng 20. Opo. We have Kathleen, Gerald, Mark Ryan, Rianina, Diana. Ang gagaling ng maths po natin. Nakuha agad yung step 1. For step 2, that is 4.47. Kaya lang round off natin, our K or the number of classes is 5. 4 kasi round off. 4.47 is 4. Titingnan po natin, Tutor J, mamaya kung 4 ba talaga yan or pwedeng maging 5 yung number of classes.
Yes, katulad ng kanina. Tama, Tutor Ruel. At meron na tayong value ng range at meron na rin tayong value ng K. Now, Mathletes, sa step 3, tandaan natin, this is where we solve for the class width or yung small I. At nakukuha natin yon by simply dividing the range by the value of K. So, kung ang range natin ay 30 at ang K natin ay 4, can you please type your answer for the value of I through our comment section? And tatandaan na yung I natin must be round off to the nearest odd integer.
Okay, i-round to the nearest integer. Sige nga, ano kayong tamang sagot dyan? Okay, yung mga mathletes po natin may sagot pa na 4.47 for step number 2. Ibig sabihin, Tutor Joy, nagsosolve po talaga sila. They are really doing the calculation, the solving process para makagawa sila ng FDT, di ba? Very good po, athletes. Again,
Yes,
for step number 3, eto
And
na.
tama po, Tutor Ruel, si Kyle, si Ina, si Rianinia, at si Janeline for answering.
Yes, for answering 7.5. So, ibig sabihin, the value of I is 7.5. Now, round to the nearest integer. So, medyo nawala ka po, Tutor Joy. So, ang 7.5 magiging 7. So, okay na.
Ayan. Sorry po kung nawala, no? Lumalakas lang ang ulan dito. Ayan. Tutor Ruel, sa comment section, napansin ko, may mga sumasagot ng 8. Again, mathletes, i-clarify, i-emphasize natin ang step number 3. After we solve for the approximate value of I value, kailangan round off to the nearest odd integer. So instead,
Yes, to the nearest odd integer. Since 7.5 siya, ang nearest integer between 7 and 9 ay 7. So 7 pa rin yung I natin for this one. Now, what is step number 4? For step number 4 po
for
natin,
step 4, Tutor Ruel,
okay, we will now complete the first column. So, pag maggagawa kayo ng table, ang una nyong isusulat dyan or ilalagay ay yung nasa pinakaibaba, which is 0 to 6. Paano nangyari na 0 to 6? So remember, we will start with the lowest value. Ang lowest
Ayan,
value
0
natin
to
sa
6
given
ito.
data. Yes? Yes po, that is 0 to 6 kasi from 0, ang class size natin ay 7. So 7 minus 1 is 6. Yung 6, i-add natin kay 0. So 0 plus 6
2,
is
3,
6.
4, 5, and 6. So we have
Yes.
0 to 6.
Okay, next, i-add mo lang po yung 7 kay lower limit. 0 plus 7, 7. Plus 7, 14. Plus 7, 21. Plus 7, 28. Kay upper limit naman, 6 plus 7, 13. Plus 7, 20. Plus 7, 27. Plus 7, 34. Tapos na po yung class interval. Ano po yung sunod, Tutor Joy? Okay, ang step number 5 po natin, Tutor Joy, ay yes, Tutor Joy, ang step number 5 is yung frequency naman. I-fill out natin yung frequency. Okay, very good po, Gerald. Frequency po
Ayan,
yung
rinig na po
support.
ba ulit ako, Tutor Ruel?
Yes. Okay na po. Nakabalik ka na po, Tutor Joy. O, halimbawa, Tutor Joy, assume natin.
Ayan. So,
yes, assume po natin na na-fill out na natin yung frequency. From the given data, nakuha agad natin na may 6 na number from 0 to 6, may 3 from 7 to 13, tapos may ilan po yan, may 8, may 2, may 1. Okay po? Kinumpleto lang natin yung column number 2 for the frequency. Okay. Kasi tapos siguraduhin lang natin, pag tig-add yan,
tama po,
that's it.
Tutor Ruel. And we always add all the frequency to check kung nag-match ba siya sa total number of observations natin. So in this example, we must have 20 for the value of n. Yan. So after getting the frequencies of each interval, we proceed to step 6. Proceed to step 6 po. Yan. For step 6, we have to complete the lower class boundary of each class interval. So, again, para lower class boundary, kailangan lang nating bawasan ng 0.5 ang bawat lower limit. So, we have here, kung 0 ang ating first lower limit, subtracting 0.5 from 0 will get negative 0.5. So, ang first entry natin na lower class boundary sa ating bottom row ay negative value. Then, shortcut. So, turuan na natin ng shortcut or mga math techniques ang ating mathletes, Tutor Ruel. So, kung nag-start tayo ng negative 0.5, para makakuha pa ng ibang class boundaries or lower class boundaries, pwede na natin itong add lang ng I or yung class width natin. So, remember, in our previous slide, ang class size natin or class width ay 7. So, meron tayong negative 0.5 plus 7, kaya meron na tayong 6.5. Tapos, 6.5 plus 7, kaya nakakuha tayo ng 13.5. 13.5 plus 7, we have 20.5. Then lastly, 20.5 plus 7 will be 27.5. So, nalista lahat ni Christian James Miguel ang mga lower class boundaries natin. Yan, sa comment section. So, good job, Christian. And yun nga, ang idea lang naman is to always subtract 0.5 from our lower limit. Then, Tutor Ruel, last step natin.
Yes, for our last step, yung fourth column, we will fill in the column for less than cumulative frequency. Magsisimula po tayo sa pinakababa. Ang lowest sa frequency natin, we have 6. From 6, magpa-plus 3, naging 9. Plus 8, naging 17. Plus 2, naging 19. Plus 1, naging 20. So, ibig sabihin, tama po yung nilagay natin sa cumulative frequency natin. Okay, so that's it for the frequency distribution table for our given example. So, Matlits, nakuha ba yon? Alam kong nakuha yon, di ba? Very good kay Ina, Aiza, Jasmine, Kathleen, Micah, and the rest of the Matlits po. Ano yung sunod, Tutor Joy?
Okay. At dahil nakuha na nilang example 1, mas magiging madali sa kanila ang example 2. So let's consider, Tutor Ruel and Matlits, this frequency distribution table. And we just simply have to complete the missing values in each row. So again, 4 na columns, class interval, frequency, LCB, or lower class boundaries. And then we also have the less than cumulative frequency. So again, kung ito ang given, tignan mabuti, Matlits. Can you identify, item 1, can you identify the value of n? Wherein when we say n, this is referring to the total number of observations. Can you please type your answer in in our comment section? What is n in this example number 2?
Okay,
what is 5 plus 8 plus 2 plus 9 plus 7? Ayan, according kay Ina Isabella, 31 daw, Tutor Ruel.
Yes po. Same with Gerald and Kathleen, 31. Same with Umana, Kyle, Philip.
And
John
they
Ray.
are all correct. Ang sagot sa number 1 natin ay 31. What about sa number 2, Tutor Ruel? Ano po ba yung nawawala na yan?
Yes, for number 2, what is the lower class boundary with a class interval of 29 to 37? Ano kaya yung lower class boundary with class interval of 29 to 37? Ano kayong sagot dyan? Sige nga, sabi ni Jasmine, 28.5. Tama po ba yun, Tutor Joy? 28.5? Same with
Correct,
Ina?
that's 28.5. And then, correction lang, Tutor Ruel, dito sa ating typo error. Yung sa taas ng 28.5, this must be 37.5. So, I apologize for that typo error. It must be 37.5 kasi magsusubtract tayo ng 0.5 sa lower limit na 38. So, ulitin ko po ha, correction dun sa kasunod na lower class boundary. Ayan. And then we also have number 3, Tutor Ruel. Still under the column of lower class boundary.
Okay po. Siguro nakuha na naman po yan nila, Tutor Joy. May konting error lang tayo sa class interval. Okay po? So we have 10 to 18, 19 to 27,
Ay, okay.
28,
Yes,
okay, 28 to 36. So okay lang po yan. So again, the point of this one is para makuha yung n, para makuha yung lower class boundary, and for the cumulative frequency, yung less than cumulative frequency, we will start with 7, then i-add lang po yung frequency. Pero kung magsisimula naman kayo sa taas, pwede naman. Ang gagawin lang, i-minus lang. Ma-minus
so,
naman, pababa naman yan.
Yes,
okay.
So we have 31. Ayan, move natin. Then, ang next na nito, Tutor Ruel, is to check their new knowledge. So, quick check challenge tayo, Tutor Ruel.
Yes. Alam kong ready sila. Ilang items po yan, Tutor Joy?
5 lang po for today. 5 lang pala lagi talaga.
Sigurado ako, ang mathletes natin makaka-perfect. Kung hindi yun maka-perfect, almost perfect. Okay, ready na ba ang pen and paper, mathletes? Alam kong ready na. So, let's get started. Number 1, Tutor Joy. Ano po yan, number 1?
So number 1, this refers to a tabular representation of quantitative data grouped into numerical intervals called classes or class intervals together with the number of observations in each class called the frequency. Is it A, quantitative table, B, frequency column, C, class distribution table, or is it D, frequency distribution table? So again, lagyan ng number at ang inyong letter,
Yes.
and it should be capital letter. Capital letter of your answer.
Ready
A, B,
na
C,
si
or
RT.
D?
May mga sagot na po sila. Si Rhea Nina, Gerald, letter D. Same with Pia, Hannah, Julian, Janeline, letter D. And the correct answer is?
It's letter D, frequency distribution table. Yan, good job. Number 2, Tutor Roel?
Number 2, it is the number of observations in each class is called blank. Is it A, with, B, intervals, C, frequency, or D, limits? Again, number of observations with, intervals, frequency, or limits. Sabi po ni Ina, C. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer for number 2 is?
Frequency. Ayan,
Okay,
tama ang mga
correct.
sumagot ng C. Okay, what about number 3? To solve for the value of range, which equation do we use? So in this equation or in this item, we refer to the highest value. We denote highest value as HV and the lowest value as LV. Is it A, R is equal to HV plus LV? Letter B, R is equal to HV minus LV? Letter C, R is equal to HV times LV? Or letter D, R is equal to HV divided by LV?
Yes, alin kaya dyan yung formula to solve for range or R? Sabi po ni Ina, letter B. Same with Rose and John Ray. Okay, si Christian B din. So, Tutor Joy, the correct answer po is?
They are correct. The answer is B. And what about number 4? For number 4, Tutor Roel?
Okay, number 4. Quick check question number 4. N refers to the total number of observations in a data set. Given the data set below, what is the value of N? Is it A, 3, B, 11, C, 13, or D, 17? Again, what is the value of N? Number 4, sabi ni Ina, letter D. Okay, same with... Sino pa? Yung may mga sagot for number 4. Same with Philip and Jeneline, letter D. Same with
Ray.
Kyle. Okay, the correct answer is?
They are correct. Letter D is the correct answer. We have 17 observations. So that is the value of N. And lastly, for quick check challenge number 5, you have 30 seconds, maximum of 30 seconds. What will be the class width of a data set whose range is 55 and the K value is 6? So is it A, I is equal to 7, B, I is equal to 8, C, I is equal to 9, and D, I is equal to 10. So matatandaan natin, Tutor Roel, for this item, this is being done under step 3. At huwag kakalimutan that when we're solving for I, we need to round it off or round off to the nearest odd integer.
Okay, so alam ko po familiar na sila sa formula in finding the class width. That is range R over K, or the class interval, which is 6. So in short, they will simply divide 55 and 6. Then round to the nearest odd integer. And number 5, the correct answer is?
Number
Sabi nila,
5, the
letter
correct
C.
answer is, yes, letter C. Tama sila, Tutor Roel. 5 is letter C. Kapag sinolve natin, 55 divided by 6, that is approximately 9.16. And rounding off to the nearest odd integer, that will give us 9. So kung alam na rin natin yung technique sa step number 3, pwede na natin gamitan din to ng process of elimination. Since ang sagot natin ay dapat na odd integer, eliminated din kagad si letter B, ang letter B at ang letter D kasi even ang 8 at 10. Ayan, Tutor Roel, at mukhang handang-handa na rin po silang sagutan ang ating weekly math challenge. At ano po kaya yon, Tutor Roel?
Yes, so for our math challenge of the week, I know they can do this one because they are matibay. That is what? Eto na. Pero bago yan, alam ko, we would like to congratulate first our mathletes who got scores of 5 over 5. We have Diana, Gerald, Harchi, John Ray, Angelica, Jasmine, Jeneline, Philip, Angelica, Julian,
Wow,
and the rest of the
congratulations. Ang
Matthews.
dami. Ang dami naka 5/5 and 4/5, Tutor Ruel.
Yes, and Ara Jane, hello po sa inyong lahat. Eto na. Below is a set of data on the annual income, so in thousands, per family in the different regions of the Philippines. Ayan na yung mga annual income in thousands. Now, the challenge for you is to construct a complete FDT using the given data set. Write the value of N, its class intervals, class width, the lowest class boundary, and the less than cumulative frequency. So I know they can do this one, and also show your complete solution for the following values. We have R, K, and I. Don't forget to indicate your name, school, division, math teacher, and post it with hashtag Math and Challenge, hashtag Tutor Abhil, hashtag Tutor Ruel, and hashtag Tutor Joy. Tama po ba?
Yes, Tutor Ruel. So, paki-screenshot na mga mathletes ang ating given dataset at pakisunod lahat ng instruction na binigay sa inyo ni Tutor Ruel. Show your complete solution and accomplish the challenge of constructing a complete FDT.
Yes, alam kong magagawa po nila yan kasi it will be used next week para sa pag-compute na natin ng measures of possession of a group data.
Tama po. And next week, Tutor Ruel, is already our week 4 for quarter 4. At ito ang ating important date. So kung halimbawang hindi pa nila nanonote, pwede rin pong i-screenshot. So makikita natin, June 20 to 24. Kala mo, konting-konti na lang talaga, Tutor Ruel. Tapos na ang school year na ito.
Yes, konting push na lang, di ba? Alam ko po, marami ring mathletes ang ma-feature pa natin. Alam ko from Quirino National High School, may magta-try sa kanila sumagot at i-post po yan. Huwag po mahihiya na i-message po kami or i-post po yan with the hashtags para malaman po namin ang sagot nyo. Okay lang magkamali, mathletes. Remember, mistakes, ibig sabihin, you are trying. Di ba po? Okay, so binabiti po namin lahat ng mathletes sa Quirino National High School, San Mariano, Ocampo, Antipolo, Macabebe, at sa lahat ng schools na nagpa-participate po sa ating DepEd ETUlay online tutorial.
Yes, and Tutor Ruel, kunin ko rin po yung opportunity na to para i-shout out ang ating school principal, si Mrs. Priscilla T. Catanawan ng Caloocan National Science and Technology High School. Ganun din ang aming SRM Department Head, Mrs. Ronalie A. Coco. So, shout out sa lahat po ng estudyante, parents na bumubuo ng Caloocan National Science and Technology High School.
Yes, syempre pahabulin po ako with my department head, Sir Jonel, Ma'am Eva, our principal, our EPS, Ma'am Sarah Christine Godoy, and Ma'am Lloyda Nidea, our SDS, sa lahat ng mathletes. This is Tutor Ruel from SDO Camarines Sur, your math coach in Math 10.
And once again, this is Tutor Joy from SDO Caloocan City, reminding everyone that learning math is more fun when we can see and appreciate its beauty. At kasama rin po natin lagi si Tutor Abhil from SDO Bataan. See you next week!
Okay, thank you so much po.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!